Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin. I am a dumb dad.
Hey there. My name's Evan. I'm a dumb dad.
Cheers, dummy.
Cheers, dummy.
Happy summer to you.
Happy summer to you. Happy belated Father's Day. You sent me a nice message on Father's Day. I appreciated that. I just sent a laughing emoji back.
An inappropriate
gift. Yeah, man. Good Father's Day. It's been a minute because you guys were doing some trips. I want to hear all about. I know you guys went camping. We should probably jump into that pretty quickly because I'm pretty excited to hear about camping. But yeah, how's everything else going? So far, summer has been a different start for the both of us. I know that.
Yeah, we've had your summer has been like what my winter break was.
Yeah, you know when you watch a race and everyone's lined up on the track and then they go and then everyone takes off running and there's that one runner that like runs a little bit too fast right away, so their upper body's going faster than them and the whole time they're just trying to start running, but it really just looks like they're gonna fall. That's like how I entered summer.
A false start, if you will.
Yeah, but you know, like really you're thinking any second they're just going to put their hands out and dive head first because they're just not, their feet are not catching up to what's going on.
It's not going great for you guys, huh?
That's exactly what it's felt like.
Are they out of the woods now, though?
Out of the woods now. They're just, I mean, it was like sick, trading coughs, getting over it.
Yeah.
And, you know, some kid in my son's class on the last day of school came to school sick.
That happened to us last year.
Left early.
Literally happened to us last year.
Yeah. You're like, thanks for the parting gift.
Yeah.
Of the school year. So, you know, it's just been, it's been a bit of a false start, let's say. But it's all good. Hopefully we finish the race.
You have to. You don't have a choice.
You got to get
parenting. You don't have a choice. You got to finish. Yeah.
But it's all good.
Yeah, we've been going hard. Knowing that June, as we're recording this podcast, we know that June we're going on a lot of vacations. In July, we're going to take it pretty easy. But yeah, we went to Solvang, talked about that on the last podcast. And then, we went camping. We got back yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what I
just asked you before we started. I was like, are you exhausted?
Yeah. I was like, probably.
Because here's the thing. We both love camping.
Yeah.
But I also know what you just went through.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
A lot of work, which is good. But I can't imagine you're not tired right now. You didn't make it all up in one night of sleep.
No. And of course, like, it's funny because it's the same thing with everything. Like, I remember when I used to visit my brother in Vegas, and we'd go there, and we wouldn't like party hard or anything, but you'd go and it'd be a fun drive. And then the drive home always sucks. The drive home from Vegas is always the worst. And it's not a hangover thing. It's just gosh, what a miserable, boring drive. Nothing to look at. Because you know you're going back to it.
Yeah. Driving to the thing you're excited.
Yeah. And
much more fun.
Camping is that way, but way more. In that, like, I didn't mind the drive back, but then you get there and it's like, let's do all of the laundry.
Well, let's compare the two. Either way, away from camping or away from Vegas, you're very dirty.
Very dirty. You smell like a chimney. For two different reasons. You're
probably out of money.
You're proud of how you behaved. You're out of money.
There was a fire. Yeah. But yeah, I get you. And like, again, you're tired. You're dirty. You need a shower.
Exactly.
You need a shower.
We haven't, I think whenever the last time we went camping with you was the last time we went camping. So it's been a minute.
Yeah. And
I went with my brother and sister-in-law and their kids and, was excited to go. And we get there and set up and, it's just it's camping is so funny for that reason because it is so enjoyable once you're ready to go. Yeah. But it's like get there and it's like build your house first.
Well, you're gonna survive. Do it.
Yeah. Show us. Can you make a fire? Go.
Yeah. Oh, you brought a tent. Oh, okay. Well, that's easy.
Yeah. we had a rough start because a lot of campsites. I don't know if it's like this in the rest of the country. It probably is, but like in California, you can't like. Not that you're gonna order wood on Amazon, but like you have to buy local wood, like because of reasons of bugs and
bugs that live in the wood and like all the stuff.
Introducing new animals to an environment. That's how we got all these mosquitoes in California that didn't used to be here 10 years ago.
Don't know what you're talking about. I barely ever see them.
The problem was it rained. I'm guessing the day before because like the site wasn't really wet. Everything was fine when we got there. And somebody had left wood there, and I was like, "Oh, I'll use this to make the first fire," because we were ahead of my brother and sister-in-law who said they'd bring the wood. So we're just putting the tent together. It's still daytime. It's still like 3 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're just setting up the fire, and nothing is getting this thing to light. And I was like, "Okay, this wood is just a lot of smoke." And I was like, "Okay, this is wet wood. I can't use this right now." And then they show up with the wood they bought at the outposts nearby, and I was like, "Great, let's go. Let's build that fire." I guess they leave their wood out because that was not lighting.
Or you don't know how to make a fire.
Here's the thing. I was like, I started with, because you and I made fires when we camped together.
I know you know how to make a fire.
I know you're not. But I will say, like, I tried to do that. I tried to replicate that. I was like, you make the little kindling and you slowly feed it and doing all that. All that's going great.
Yeah.
And then
until you introduce
the big logs, and then they just like white smoke and then nothing.
How far did you get to like before the big logs are like, you have to earn obviously the right to put that on the fire. Otherwise it's like sitting on a fire and the fire's like, I can't, that's too big. I can't do that. And that's the part that I think that's the hardest part about like making fire is like, because splitting those helps to get. That's the thing I know about making fire. You can't like skip a step necessarily.
Sure.
Maybe unless you have gasoline,
or fire starters.
Or fire starters. But yeah, if you like build a fire, you can't like skip a step because then it just.
Yeah, if you're just building,
you want to make
just like from a match.
To
a fire.
Yeah, you gotta go build slow, little by little by little, and eventually it's like then it can burn and you're throwing logs on it. But like it takes a while to get to that
first
point.
Time. Because I had to try like 4 times to get a fire going.
Yeah.
And the first time I did all of that, and I got pretty far. Mm-hmm. Like I earned it. I earned a lot.
Yeah.
And it was just they were all too wet. And then eventually I did pull out I brought fire starters for worst case scenario because I'm like, we're in the woods, like you can try it, but swallow your pride after a minute and get a fire going.
I get it. Everybody's Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Your family's hungry and it's cold.
Do 4 sit-ups.
Yeah. Make the fire happen. 45 minutes later, make the fire happen.
Yeah. Nobody's here cheering you on. They want the fire.
We forgot the badges for you anyway, so it'll just be a round of applause.
So I even tried that and that didn't work, but we eventually got a fire going. And then it was just funny. That's just like it's hurry up and work when you get there.
Yeah.
But it's so funny how quickly your kids disgusting. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like
how quickly they go like, look how dirty we are. It's
how dirty they
get.
Because it reminds me of like I have a small dog. He's like 20 pounds. And every time I give him a bath, he goes to, I dry him off and take him out. And we're still in the house. He'll always do this thing where he just tries to find the spot that he usually hangs out in and just starts rolling in that spot because he's like, gotta get that smell back.
I smell like nothing. I smell like a piece of paper.
Ruined me.
Yeah.
That's like kids going camping. They just like run outside, start rolling around. Just like.
It's like you washed off my personality. I have to go put it back on there. My son's like that. My daughter's not like that.
She doesn't like getting dirty?
No, not really. Or we go to the beach or something like that. She's very careful about walking on the sand. She's very much, if she sees a fly in the house, it's like a whole thing. I mean, it's so funny that, she's just, that's how she is. I mean, she's almost 5, but she's just, there's a fly in here and like hunched shoulders and I got to get it or, I'm like, yeah, well, when you guys leave the door hanging wide open, it's a huge invitation. I don't know how to. So there's going to be flies in our house.
The door thing with the kids.
Yeah.
My God.
I will say I'm not like, I do it too. If I'm bringing the groceries in. Yeah. I leave it open. I go back and forth a few times, then I shut it. I mean, it only takes a second, Kevin, before a fly finds its way.
So we're at that time of year where they're strategic. I mean,
the flies.
Yeah, I
open
open the
little
door
vans out there
and
looking.
They go right past my temple. There's nothing worse than when you open the door and see one go on your left, and then there's just a pass right by you.
They just rip right past
and
the
you're
tower.
Like,
oh, I will.
That is. Now I'm so angry.
Do your kids not care? Like they're dirty, but do they care about any of that? Like they don't care about bugs or whatever when they're out. If there's a fly in the tent, is that okay?
Yeah, all that's fine.
A mosquito in the tent has got to go.
Mosquito in the tent. I mean,
or a fly, really. You turn the light. You put hang a little light inside your tent at night. Mm-hmm. They find it. Then you just know exactly how many bugs you got to get out of there before you can go to sleep peacefully, because they will buzz by your ears all night long.
I was thinking about that when I was packing up the tent. Like I do a good job sweeping it out, cleaning it out.
Yeah.
But as I'm like closing up the zippers, I'm just like looking around. And now it's like we've had the tent open because we're like emptying the stuff out and stuff.
Right.
So it's just been up because nobody's sleeping in it anymore.
Right.
And as I'm just like closing it out and about to take it down, I go, there's going to be a lot of dead bugs in here next time I open it.
Here, yeah. How do you?
No, my kids are. It's funny. We got a hammock years ago.
Yeah.
What a great camping hack of something you can buy that you don't get to use.
Yeah.
But
it will keep your kids busy while you're trying to light a fire.
It's great for the kids.
It's great for the kids, and it's what's funny about it is that last time we went camping together, we set up our hammocks.
We both have one.
Yeah, and we were like, "Can we sit in it?" It was like all the kids were just swinging around in
going
it.
wild. This is a floating chair. Like they just loved it so much. And so it was funny when I went with you guys and you had one. I was like, "Oh, sweet, they got one too. This is perfect." And I set up ours, and we couldn't use it at all the time that we went. And then I went into this time going, "This is not for me. This is a toy I brought for the children."
Yeah. I think we need way more trees and way more hammocks.
Yeah. We got a hammock up and we got the fire going, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. The kids got just so dirty. So dirty. I didn't make the dumb dad moment I did last week. If you listen to last week's podcast, we forgot to brush our kids' teeth. And that didn't happen. Teeth were brushed because...
You brought 12 toothbrushes.
Because something had to give. Like...
You didn't allow them to
go to the bathroom?
We're
not going to be good. We're not going to be disgusting inside and out. Okay? Like... It was... But yeah, it was a mess. It was...
But was your damn dad moment, is it camping related?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dumb dad moment, we can get right into it because, it was, first of all, so many injuries. So many.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just like, little cuts and stuff like that. And cuts and bruises and fall, and then they want to go right back into it. Which is so funny.
Sure.
It's like, the mouse that gets there's cheese, and if it touches it gets zapped. And the mouse learns.
Still want the cheese.
That's the kids. That's children. Fell down.
Still a piece of cheese there.
We made a really smart move where we rented out 2 sites because we weren't sure. We hadn't been there in years, and
there's 8 of you,
and there's 8 of us. So we're like, we're probably we'll probably each have our own site, or we were thinking both tents will be here on this site, and then this site will do all the food.
Sure.
It's like, I think it's a good idea. No, we only ever used one site, but what was great about it was big enough for both of our big tents and to do all the cooking. But it was like,
and
we got one
coverage of 4 adults and 4 kids. That's,
but there was it was 15 and 16, and 15 was up high and 16 was lower. So we stayed on 16 because we were like, no, the kids are just going to keep falling off the side of the. And here's the thing. I mean,
let's stay on the ground
we
floor.
weren't there for. I mean, we were there for less than 10 minutes before they realized they could find the hill, climb up it, and just slide down on their butts.
Oh yeah,
that was the whole trip. I mean, that's what they did most of the time. They were just sliding down, just kicking up dirt, just like it looked like a family of chimney sweeps. It was wild by the end, but no. So the
dust in their ears and everything.
So many baby wipes. Like I don't know when I'm gonna stop. I don't buy diapers anymore. My kids are out, but I don't know when we're gonna stop buying wipes. They're a great thing to have.
I exactly right. I mean, I imagine my kids are 15 and 16. I don't see them anymore at all, but I still got to pick up a pack of wipes.
Hold on, you have a toothpaste mustache. Let me help you.
Also, I just said my kids are 15 and 16 as if their ages are growing closer together as they grow older.
We don't know. Maybe one has a slow year.
He's developing a little more slowly, so he's actually still only about 12. He's been 12 for 2.5 years.
So anyway, the dumb dad moment was and it kind of piggybacks off of the trip to Solvang, and it's just something my wife and I are just going to have to make peace with, which is just we won't get to sleep next to each other, I don't know, until they move out. If they move out,
yeah.
I mean, we don't co-sleep really at night. They do come. My son, I've talked about on the podcast, he comes a lot of the times. He comes in the middle of the night, but like if he does sleep with us, it's a nightmare. So one of us usually follows him back to bed because that's way easier. But when we went to Solvang,
but then you guys follow him back to bed, and then you stay there, or you follow him back to bed. And like,
I stay there.
So by the time he comes back in,
put him there, but then he shows right back up like 10 minutes later. So if I stay there with him,
he's just wondering, hey,
for an hour?
Where's one of you guys need to be in my bed with me?
Exactly.
What are you guys doing in here?
And it's not bad. It works. It works. But when we went to Solvang, it was like one kid was in one bed, one was in the other, and they both had their picks. Daughter wanted me, son wanted mom, and I was just like, okay, I guess we're doing that. And then the next night it was like, well, could we? And they were like, absolutely not. The kids were like, no, you can't. It's like, we just wanted to sleep next. Okay, it's fine. Same thing, camping. I'm setting up the tents, getting everything. Once my wife and my daughter helped set up the tent while I attempted a fire. And then I staked it down. Then I went in there, and then I started blowing up all the little mattresses. By the way, we're old now. Those little mats, are a must. The little air mats, whatever that air pads, like, you blow them up, and it's only like an inch of air.
It helps, though.
It's life-changing.
We went from that to, I think we gave you those, right? We said, you take these for your kids, or you, You
guys do cots now, right?
Yeah, we do little cots. We had those things. They're cool. I mean, it's like a little... it's rolled up really tight little roll, and you undo it, and which allows like an inch of air to come in, and then you just seal it tight, and then you sleep on top of that, so you're not like right on top of the ground. Yeah. And that did pretty well. And then my wife and I had a couple of those nights where it was like, oh, we're old. Now I feel like this was uncomfortable. But I don't know why, but I don't like bringing an air mattress camping. That feels like, this is going to sound so bad, but that feels like cheating to me. Or it's too much of like trying to bring your bed out of your house, or they are comfortable, but at the same time, it's the same thing like anything else. It's comfortable for a while, but then like the second time you use it, by the time it's morning, you're on the ground anyway because it's leaking somewhere.
It's leaking. There's a rock that got it somewhere.
So but I'm all about, when you go camping, I'm all about what's the least amount of stuff we can bring that's necessities.
Yeah,
and then how compact can that thing be?
Yeah.
That's how my mind, like that way,
you it's easy
comfortably
to
fit everything in the car, easy to
Mm-hmm.
pack it, carry it around, move it around. Yeah, we found these like little aluminum stake like cots that roll up within themselves pretty tightly, and it works pretty well. So we moved from that to that because it's like, well, this is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. We'll just continue to use them.
Right.
And they work pretty well. I mean, I think they were like, I don't know, $60, $80 or something like that.
Yeah.
I found them on Amazon, and it's like same thing though. It was like, this is a whole bed rolled in this tight little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Engineering.
Yeah, the mats you guys gave us, we gave to the kids, and then we bought a full size,
queen size bed
bed, and just strapped it onto the roof because we don't have a roof rack, so it works great.
We're old and we just want to sleep. Yep.
It's fun
on memory foam.
You cut the rope right as you pull up to the site, and then you just crack the brakes and try to get it to go right through the tent window.
In the tent. Which is why we're on our fourth tent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obliterated.
We're not allowed back at that campsite. Went into the fire. Then the fire started going. Anyway, I set up the bed, so I have this like full size, really nice little air pad, and then I put and then we also have a 2-person sleeping bag. Mm-hmm. Then I have our pillows down, and then I blow up the other kids' mats. Blow up first one. Put my son next to where my wife would sleep, because it's like, yeah, you can. I'll put him right next to it. So there's no getting up and wanting to. You're already there.
Yeah.
You were there. And then I did the same for my daughter. She was at the end, which is fine because she stays up late reading or drawing. So I was like, all right, this is a great setup. We'll do this.
Sure.
I mean, so then everybody went to bed. And then my brother and I stayed up, chatted for a little bit. And then I go in there while everyone's asleep. And my son has still gotten up and is just covering the rest of my side of the bed. And
so you slept on his bed?
So I moved him onto his bed and then got in my bed. And then he's still in the middle of the night. Climbed over to us. So night 2,
you just taped him to the bed.
I just slept on his little pad, which was fine. But then I had I think his pad does have a hole in it. So I just put his sleeping bag down because he wasn't using it. He was using mine. And then we had another blanket. So I used that blanket, which then he was using. So he's just pulling it away from me throughout the night. Worst night of sleep ever. So yeah. I'm exhausted. So that's the dumb dad moment, is like knowing like don't make these like, I made the great presentation for like the sleeping situation that was never to be.
That was never going to be how. Assigned bunks. Never heard of them. That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to going camping this summer. I don't even know when. It'll be like this weekend. It'll happen. Let's go now if we can find a site. But I love going camping. It's fun. It is a lot of work, but it's also fun to show your kids that stuff takes work and have them help with little things. And they love the opportunity to go outside and learn a new thing and sleep outside. It's like the craziest thing in the world to go sleep outside when you're a kid, Hey, speaking of doing things with the kids, my son, there's no way to transition into this. It has nothing to do with camping.
Okay.
Braces came off.
Okay.
Brace yourself. His son's braces came off.
Okay.
He got them pulled off of his mouth.
That's great. Congratulations.
Great. So funny. And his teeth look gigantic. when they're broken up by little pieces of metal and they're braces for a while.
Yeah.
He took a big smile when he went to the ortho, and is like beaming from ear to ear.
Yeah.
Got his braces pulled off. So funny. There's the update of everything we've gone through with his mouth in the last year and a half or so.
Yeah, he's
really gone through it.
He's been very mouthy this year.
He has been very mouthy this year. He's gone through it, and it was so funny when we were leaving. So that now he gets like if you remember, he had thrown his temporary retainer away twice.
Yes, he did.
So we go get him taken off, and I'm in the lobby, with my daughter, just kind of waiting as all this is happening. And he gets it all done, and then they like bring us in. To the orthodontist is going to talk to us, and they're like, okay, so this is now his like permanent retainer. And I'm like, okay. And like, we have already gone through this now because he had thrown the other ones away. Mm-hmm. We're just dumping money.
Yeah.
Just throwing money in the toilet and getting him these new temporary ones. And we kept telling him, though, like, well, you're going to get like your retainer. And that thing is going to cost a lot of money to replace. So we're not going to be throwing that thing away. So much so that we were like, it's going to be on your person. Before we'd even given him the case. Like, if it's not in your face, it's in the case. Right. Remember it. That's what we practiced. You threw it away again? What? So this time, it's like your case is going to be on your person. Mm-hmm. The shorts and pants you'll be wearing throughout the summer and at school will have belt loops on them. And we're carabiner this thing to your person.
Cool.
Too bad. Too bad.
Yeah.
And so like got this thing that's going to be clipped to him because he's got to wear it unless he's eating something. Then he takes it out and then immediately puts it back in. That's just, this thing's going to live there now. So
how long does he have this for?
Don't know. It could be a while because he still has adult teeth that need to come in. This thing not only holds all the work that we just did in place, but guides the new teeth into place. He still has a couple that need to come in. So. Okay. His teeth look great, though. I mean, they look great. They were wild before. He looks great. So it's just going to be, this is what you wear. The funny part about that is that all this is set in place, and then we get there, and the lady's like, okay, so here's his new retainer, blah, blah, blah. Here's how we can clean it. And we really recommend that for, like, let's say school, he leaves it at home, and then second he gets home from school, he puts it in. Obviously, he takes it out.
That's easier for you guys.
Yeah. So he takes it out for when he's going to eat, obviously, and then it goes right back in. And then I was like, and he sleeps? Yep, sleeps with it in, like all that stuff. And we're like, great. And I really appreciate that plan because like
that's doable.
I know it was already a point of like stress for my wife and I, and even thinking about him taking it to school next year and potentially setting it on his lunch tray again and just putting it all in the garbage.
Probably not potentially.
Probably not potentially. Probably absolutely. So, yeah, I know. It's like, whew, what a relief that you suggested that, because I kind of started laughing as she's saying that. I don't think they're tracking necessarily that we are the family that twice in 2 months do you throw this thing away.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, that's a fantastic idea.
Perfect.
Love this idea.
Yeah.
But I will go into my dumb dad moment another week. It's a pretty good one. This kind of has a lot to do with just when you're a parent, that some days are just you're gonna get overtaken by the ocean. A huge wave's gonna come and get you. And like,
it's quite an analogy, but okay.
Yeah, I don't really know why it went there, but
we'll get the.
Well, we went to the beach, and so maybe that's just on my mind. That has nothing to do with this.
Okay.
As we mentioned, we started summer just kind of like with a bit of a hiccup. Kids are sick, trying to get through it, can't really go anywhere. They have no energy, all this stuff. And at the tail end of last week, like my daughter was just having a day, one of those days where everything kind of frustrates her, probably going through growing pains or didn't sleep well enough or something like that.
Yeah.
But doesn't the idea of having lunch, doesn't want, like, I'm hungry. Okay, I'll make you lunch. That makes her mad. She just wants a snack. That kind of stuff.
Okay.
So she's having a moment in the living room. She kind of stops off to her room. I was like, okay, I'm going to go talk to her in a minute. I'm doing this with him. I'm dealing with brother. Brother's out here. Okay, trying to please, guys, mommy's working. Okay, so please be quiet. And then that makes them feel like they're in trouble. That makes her more upset. It was just like round and round and round we go. Like, when is bedtime is what my focus is. One of those days. Yeah. And I go in the room to talk to her, and I was like, "What? Why are you upset? Can you tell me why you're upset? Is it something that I said, or would she explain? It was like nothing, but she's upset." Mm-hmm. So I'm in there talking to her, and that's my mentality. Is like, whoa, man, I just wish it was bedtime now, so that we could just start again tomorrow.
But it's not happening today.
It's not happening today. And this is like probably at about 3 p.m., somewhere around there. Yeah. Getting close, but not close enough.
It's not even so far away.
Yeah, so far away. And so as I'm leaving her bedroom, I say, do you want to just sit in here for a little bit longer? Yes. Okay. Then I'll come check on you in a little bit. Like, okay. So I close the door behind me, and I go down the hall. And as I go down the hall, I just take a big deep breath, and I put my hands in my face, and I'm kind of just walking, taking a big, huge, deep breath, and my elbow catches the frame of this big photo we have of our late puppy Ellie. Oh, and I say puppy, but she was an old dog, and catches the frame, knocks it off the wall. It falls off the wall, hits the light switch in the hallway.
Oh, on
shatters the button.
Really?
For the light switch, hits the ground, cracks the edge of the frame, and it's broken.
Holy crap.
I know. And that's like, when that kind of stuff happens, you're like, what was that noise? My wife's like, everybody okay?
Yeah.
I said, yep. Inside, I was like, no.
Yeah.
I need it to be tomorrow.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not necessarily a dumb dad moment, like, haha, you stupid idiot, you knocked this thing over, but it was like, I need a reset.
You were trying to reset. You were actively resetting.
I was actively trying to reset, and then I reset where we needed to go that day. Because we needed to stop by the hardware store.
Yeah.
I'd never seen this before. It was like not a light switch. It is a light switch. It's not the tiny light switch. It's the bigger button, top and bottom. Yeah. I don't even know how to describe that. Yeah. Anyway, but that thing broke and came off. Oh. So, but the frame of the light switch was still there, and you could see inside of it. Not only that, you could see little metal, and I was like, oh, we got to replace that right now.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's doing there.
That looks dangerous.
But the last thing I'm gonna do is touch it or test it. So let's just switch it, and hopefully it was off Like, I don't even know if it couldn't switch it on or off. That's the part that came off.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, we're going to the hardware store.
You guys are coming with me.
You guys are coming with me. 'Cause,
you're going to touch it.
Mommy's on the phone, and you're going to be looking at that thing.
Yep.
So, yeah. The funny thing about it is, like 3 months ago or 2 months ago, my son was acting wild in the afternoon and broke that same frame. So since the frame's only like 2.5 months old.
Oh.
And I broke it as well.
That makes it even better. Just the guides.
Just being rambunctious in the hallway or just trying to calmly reset yourself in the hallway. Both are
trying to take a deep breath like a bird stretching its wings.
Yeah. So replacing it wasn't that bad. The funny part about that is we go to the hardware store, I get the thing, we come back and I'm like, okay, so this light switch is in the hallway, which turns on and off the light above us in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else which is now off, but also the light switch is broken. So I don't really know the state of what's going on there.
Sure.
But there's no other outlets in the hallway.
Yeah.
And there's no other lights in the hallway.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know how to like determine when I go out to the breaker to just make sure that my wife's just like, just throw the main. Like, we don't need to like, we can guess and check for 20 minutes, but also I was like, all right. I was pretty confident that the light switch wasn't going to be that big of a deal. So I was like, okay. So I just went outside and just turned it power off, all of it.
These old houses in LA, you just hit the main.
You just hit the main and just, so it was fine. I was able to do it really in like 5 minutes. It's a pretty simple,
because I've talked to
replacing your wires through the thing, so it was fine, but it was like, it made me feel better to do it, and it actually made me feel really good the same day to go to the hardware store and bring it back. And then like before dinner, I just killed the power, replaced it, went outside, turned it back on. It was in the opposition, so I turned it on and the light turned on. And it was like, because
it's a good feeling.
that might not have happened.
Yeah.
I don't know really what the frame did when it broke this thing. So that was a good feeling towards the end of the day. Made it to bedtime.
Because it was bedtime. Yeah.
And here we are. But yeah, that was my welcome to parenting moment of the week, dumb dad moment of the week.
It seems like that happens pretty regularly, though, that your emotions are going crazy because their emotions are going crazy.
Yeah.
And you make small stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
On top of that, you're just like, you use something too hard or whatever, and you're not looking where you're going.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
It's so frustrating. And it's like, because your attention is pulled because you're focusing on making sure they're okay, you're handling it right. Mm-hmm. But it's a point of like distraction in the day because I've told you guys like 5 times, Mommy is on the phone.
Yeah.
If you could please. Because you're like trying not to don't go to a 10. They're kids.
You're at a 9, so you have to walk away, and you're like, I could go to a 10. That's crazy. And then you knock over a frame, and you go, apparently there's a 12.
Yeah.
Because that's where I am.
Oh, my God, I'm at 12.
Boiling inside.
Luckily, though, that happens enough. And if your approach to parenting is just that it's sometimes those are days are going to be those days. So
there's going to be days.
Sometimes it's also it's easier to find the humor in it if you can. I mean, of course, it's not like you're not allowed.
You're not going in the moment.
Not like you're not allowed to be frustrated, but
you're not getting in the moment. But you find it afterwards.
It's one of those things where like I just walked past it. The light switch was everywhere. The frame was broken, laying in the hallway, and I didn't even turn around. I knew exactly what had happened, and I just calmly walked into the living room and sat down in my office chair. And my wife was like, "Is everybody okay?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm." And she goes, "What was that?" And I was like, I was just talking to the little one in there, trying to calm her down. And in doing so, I walked out of the hallway and I just calmly explained what happened. And I was like, so we will also be going to the hardware store today. And she looked at me, and so I just like smiled at her like, we're good.
Everything's fine.
Everything's totally fine. We just have some extra stuff on the list today.
Gotta get another one of those frames.
Yeah, gotta get another one of those frames. And it's from IKEA, too. That's kind of the annoying thing. It's like,
oh, that's a bummer.
I know. It fits it's a picture that I took that I cut. So it's kind of like it only fits in that one. I think the next time I'm just going to buy a backup.
Yeah.
I think I'll just buy 2 of them.
I think that's the move.
It's the move, right?
That's the move.
Then we'll just add it to the other things in the garage.
What's one more thing in the garage, really?
One more thing in the garage to step over.
That's great. Guys, if you have some dumb parent moments that you want to share with us, we'd love to hear them. We know you do.
We know you do.
Please share them with us. You guys can email us, dumbdadpod@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram @thedumbdads, which is our handle on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, where you can watch full episodes of this podcast. I want to thank @Verdue on SoundCloud for the music for this podcast, and as always, to my lovely wife, Annie, for editing this podcast. Evan, do you have a joke?
I got a joke for you. You ready?
Okay.
What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back?
A stick?
There it is.
Okay.
You were just around a bunch of them. It's on your mind.
Yeah.
You were around. You camped in your bunch of shitty boomerangs.
Throwing a lot of broken boomerangs.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?